Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded our conversation on a Monday afternoon. Carrie Hahn is on the Zoom screen with me because it is Shenandoah County's turn at the Tourism Tuesday wheel. And Carrie, you don't know this because technically it's not, since we're recording on a Monday, but as people are listening to the show today, it's my birthday.
Oh, Janet, happy birthday. Awesome.
So you get to be the first official person to tell me happy birthday, even though it's not even my birthday when we're talking.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
So what's going on with you in Shenandoah County? How are things now that the seasons have turned to fall?
Well, I'm watching. There's a really great I want to say it's like Smoky Mountains something or other on the internet where they just show a big map of the United States, and it is a fall foliage predictor. So like you can just go and look at it, and it shows in different colors on the map like when the fall colors will be at peak. So it looks like we're just about, we're almost there. I bet, I'm thinking that by next week, according to this calendar, October 12th is going to be our week of peak fall season. So, and I'll tell you that, people are coming out and they're going hiking and doing all kinds of really great outdoor things because the weather's so nice.
Oh, yeah. My husband went to the cabin last weekend, and it's, of course, in Fort Valley and goes through Shenandoah County as he gets there. And he said it was kind of surprising to me. It felt early to him that the leaves were changing so quickly, but it really is kind of on schedule.
It is on schedule. The last couple of years have been pretty late, I've noticed. So, yeah, because Jenna and I in the office, track that pretty carefully. So many people ask us. And, it's the sort of thing where you like to be able to give them an answer, but, you can't always count on it being like a really like bright red, orange, beautiful season. Sometimes leaves just go straight brown. So, but I think this is going to be, I think I'm noticing it's pretty now. It's getting beautiful.
You just tell them to come for the whole month of October.
Exactly.
So who are we talking to today? Who is joining us on the Zoom screen?
Well, we have Cheyenne Rhodes from Sycamore Banks Farm in Mount Jackson, and we have John Henry of John Henry General Store.
And I think we're going to talk to John Henry first. And I am excited because I've actually been, it wasn't John Henry General Store. So I'm saying it's been a while since I've been to Newmarket, but I love the concept of a general store. John Henry, welcome to the show.
Howdy. Thanks for having me.
So tell me about John Henry General Store. Where are you? Who are you? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so John Henry General Store, we're located in downtown Newmarket, which is always fun to say because everyone always wonders where else is there outside of downtown. So we always joke at the store when people tell us where they're from, we're always like, oh, you must live in the suburbs of Newmarket if they live in Quicksburg or Mount Jackson or someplace else. We always like, oh, you live in the suburbs of town. Because, if you've been to Newmarket, you're at kind of the crossroads of 81 to 11, Route 11. So it's a pretty popular thoroughfare with access to Page County going into West Virginia, along with the busy 81 corridor. But the store itself got started in 2018. We took over a large building that used to be owned by a pretty large national bank. So it still has the vault and everything inside the store, which we always joke when we get our health inspection. The inspector always is like, well, this qualifies as a secure location for food storage. You know, it is 4-foot thick walls.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we are, and we serve everything from, locally grown heirloom tomatoes to like silly socks with chickens and waffles on them. So pretty much,
That's a
we don't
pretty
try to
wide spectrum.
Yeah, yeah.
So what made you decide that this is what you wanted to do? I mean, people can't see because of course we're on the radio, but I mean, you look like you're all of 20. And typically you think of a general store as an old time kind of pioneer days thing. Why a general store?
Yeah, so my family is from Mount Jackson, and we've been selling produce for multiple generations, kind of mainly like at roadside stands, at farmers markets. And then about 5 years ago, we were really lucky to get Red Truck Bakery as a client, and we still have them as a client, supplying them with kind of produce, apples, peaches, tomatoes, rhubarb, and strawberries. So they're kind of our cornerstone restaurant client. And we had the opportunity to purchase the building in downtown Newmarket. And since it would be enclosed, we had to figure out what to do, all year. Like, it's hard to sell tomatoes in January because we don't have them coming out of the garden. And we're like, well, socks don't go bad, so we can have socks then.
What kind of impact did COVID have? I mean, I can imagine a lot of small businesses were having to close down. Some sadly closed permanently. Did you guys have to make some changes and tweak what you were doing in order to keep moving forward?
Yeah, so we were just starting to get the gardens ready kind of when COVID started, and we did lose some restaurant clients who either downsized their entire operation or closed or switched their entire menu over, so they're no longer doing sit-down meals but takeaway deli kind of stuff, so they didn't need the products we were supplying. But as the store itself, we really ramped up and started carrying a lot more food. We have a unique vendor selection, so we actually never ran on shortages on toilet paper. We never had shortages when it came to yeast or milk, because most of our suppliers are all local farmers. So if I needed more milk, I would just call down to Mount Crawford and be like, hey, can you deliver another, 80 gallons of milk tomorrow morning? And they'll be like, sure, we'll put it in the truck and send it right up. So that was pretty lucky. We also never ran out of eggs. We never ran out of yeast. So it was pretty interesting where we really never ran out of stuff. And then because of my connections with a lot of old order Mennonite communities in the area, they lost a lot of their restaurant contracts too. And so they were reaching out to us saying, hey, John, you are more of the world. Can you figure out how to help us, sell all this lettuce? Can you help us sell these tomatoes, these radishes? And we kind of moved from there.
I think that was one of the silver linings of COVID-19 is that a lot of families and a lot of people decided, I mean, not so much a silver lining for restaurants, but they decided to start cooking at home and they wanted to get back to basics and learn how to cook things. I mean, you mentioned the yeast. I know sourdough bread was going crazy in the height of the pandemic for people making things at home. That had to be a perk for you.
Yeah, and I also had to become more of an expert on things too, because we were getting all these different questions, because we're part of the Common Grain Alliance, and so we carry all these different grains and everything. And people would be asking at the register, what flour is better for baking? And I'd be like, probably go with the one that says bread flour. I don't know anything else, so I definitely had to do a bit of a learning curve too, because we added, I think since COVID, we've added 2,000 SKUs to the store and different items. So that was just a lot of big learning curve for us just to figure out everything from baking to meats to glazes to canning. So that was a pretty big learning curve for us.
So before we go to break, walk me through, say I walk in the front door at John Henry General Store. What am I going to see at first glance? What kinds of things am I going to be able to shop for and see as I walk in the front door?
Our kind of entranceway is always changing with kind of what's in season. But you'll be greeted by summer sausage right now and kids kites. Because oddly, kite sales are like through the roof this year. I guess, parents who are at home Zooming are just buying their kids kites and saying, go outside and play. So we've been selling an odd amount of kites. And then with hiking season, a lot of people are wanting like snacks and provisions for while they're going up in George Washington National Forest for hiking. And so we have a lot of like kind of provisions set out right when you walk in that would satisfy any hiking cravings.
If somebody is listening and they want more information, first tell me exactly where you're located in Newmarket. What is your address?
So our address is 9383 North Congress Street in Newmarket, Virginia. We're basically the heart of downtown. If you see the giant Exxon gas station sign that looms over downtown, we're right next to it.
And what are your hours?
We're open every day currently from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
And do you guys have a website, social media outlets?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram at John Henry General. And we also have a website, John Henry General Store. We also have a Google account. You can contact us there. We also have a Yelp and a Tumblr.
Awesome. And you're going to hang around while we talk to Cheyenne in the next segment so we can chat for a few minutes before we wrap up the show today, right?
Correct.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. Carrie, I know you're not going anywhere. Cheyenne has been so patient waiting to chat with us. So we're going to come back in a couple of minutes. We're going to chat with Cheyenne Rhodes. She is with Sycamore Banks Farm. It is Tourism Tuesday as you're listening to the show today. We have pre-recorded on a Monday morning. Regardless, we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes.
Do you know anyone who is struggling with financial hardships because of coronavirus? Our new webinar called Coping with the Money Crunch can help. We'll talk about immediate options to consider, revising or creating a spending plan, and lots of community resources. Then we'll cover how to narrow your priorities, contact creditors, and avoid scams and risky loans. The webinar is free, and you can either join by phone or through Zoom on a smartphone, tablet, or computer. You can find out more by visiting the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program on Facebook or calling Karen Poff at 540-635-4549. Let me show you how to make your own plan or help someone you care about get through the crisis. Call 635-4549 or visit @NSV Financial Education on Facebook today.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday, of course, as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded on a Monday morning. Carrie Hahn is on the Zoom screen with me from Shenandoah County Tourism. In the first segment, we had a conversation with John Henry from John Henry General Store in Newmarket. And waiting patiently on the Zoom screen is Cheyenne Rhodes with Sycamore Banks Farm. Cheyenne, thanks for taking some time to meet Carrie and John and I on the Zoom screen today.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here.
So tell me about Sycamore Banks Farm. What is it?
So we are a 101-acre family farm in Mount Jackson. We are a working farm, so we run 2 George's broiler houses. We get 7 flocks of small birds 7 times a year, and we've got about 74,000 chickens at any one time throughout the year. We also run 50 head of Angus brood cows. We're right in the middle of our fall calving season right now, and most importantly, right now we have a pumpkin patch. So we offer pick your own pumpkins to anyone and everyone. We also have horse-drawn hay rides through the pumpkin patch that operate on the weekends. So we stay very, very busy at any point throughout the year, but we're really excited about the pumpkin patch. This is the 3rd year that we've done pumpkins. The 2nd year we've actually been open to the public for pick your own, and we are really excited about it. It's gone super well so far this season, and every weekend it seems to just get busier.
Well, I was asking John earlier about the impact of COVID on farmers. It was a little different because you guys still had to do business as usual. But for those of you that took advantage of the public coming in and being able to see what they did, it did get a little wonky. What have you guys done because of COVID-19?
So to be quite honest with you, we haven't changed a thing. Like you said, farmers had to keep going. We didn't get to stop doing what we were doing, even though, the demand for food changed. We still had chickens in our houses and cattle on the ground that needed to go somewhere. I will say on the livestock side, we have seen a really large increase in interest for homegrown beef. That's something that we've kind of dabbled in over the last couple of years, is when we had steers that were ready for market, we'd kind of put feelers out to friends and family to see, hey, we've got a quarter of beef available. Do you want some hamburger steaks, that kind of thing? Since COVID, we've had an overwhelming response of more than family and friends, acquaintances of family and friends that said, hey, so-and-so said you might have some extra beef this fall. Can we get on your list? So that's been really cool as far as COVID goes, to see that side of it, and really just connecting consumers back to agriculture. That's really what is important to me. My husband and I both work jobs away from the farm as well, but through everything that we do, a big portion of it is just wanting to educate the consumers on where their food comes from and why it's so important that regardless of what's happening in the economy and society and the government, we need farmers. Every single day of our lives, we need farmers. So we're just really fortunate to have the opportunity to keep going. And like I said, for our operations, COVID didn't change a thing. We're still here and we're still going. As far as the pumpkin patch is concerned, we didn't hesitate at all to plant pumpkins back in June when it was time to get them in the ground. I know there have been some local patches that, that did change a little bit. They just weren't sure what to think, when COVID was going on in the middle of the pandemic. But for us, we really saw it as an opportunity to offer something, outside in the fresh air, an opportunity for folks to get out of their houses and do something. In June, we had no idea what COVID was going to look like come pumpkin patch season. But everything we have is outside. The pumpkin patch is on about 1.5 acres. So there's tons of fresh air and tons of space to socially distance. If that's important to you. We don't require masks in the pumpkin patch, but of course that is absolutely optional. If you're more comfortable to wear a mask while you're interacting with us, making payment or, just around other people, we absolutely respect that and want you to feel comfortable coming to the pumpkin patch as well. But we're here and nothing's changed, and we just want people to come out to the patch and maybe forget about COVID for a little bit.
So what are your hours?
Our hours for the pumpkin patch, we are open every Friday from noon until dark, Saturday from 9 till dark, and Sunday from about 2 until dark. You're guaranteed to get a hayride on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That's when we have the horses running. During the week, Monday through Thursday, we attempt to be open from 4 until dark every weekday. Most likely you will not be able to get a hayride on those days because of my husband's job. He usually doesn't get home until 5 or 6. Then he's got chickens to check and cows to check and lots of other stuff going on. So it's a little harder to get the horses out during the week. But the pumpkin patch is open for picking Monday evening through Thursday evening as well. I will say that if you're thinking about coming through the week, shoot us a message on Facebook or give us a call because since we are a working farm, something can come up at any second of the day and we might have to close or not be open someday. But the weekends, we are guaranteed to find us here. We've got some fun events coming up, so be sure to check out our Facebook page if you're interested in that as well.
And would they search Sycamore Banks Farm to find you on Facebook?
Absolutely. We have a Facebook account and an Instagram. Both handles are Sycamore Banks Farm. And our contact information, you can give us a call. It goes right to my personal cell phone, is there on the Facebook page as well.
So, Carrie, you knocked it out of the park here with 2 really good guests that are outdoors and local as local can get.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me, I have a friend who always says something like, we live in a special place. He sort of ends his Facebook statements with, we live in a special place. And that's what I was thinking of when that John Henry and Cheyenne were talking about what they have to offer, and you know, where else can you be so close? Well, you know, besides being in an agricultural town and community, it's pretty nice to have access to foods that are grown locally.
John,
Pretty
I want to
special.
make sure before we wrap up, we were talking during the break and Carrie was asking you about a CSA program. So you have a CSA program at John Henry General Store?
Yeah, so we don't call it a CSA program because we are in the Valley and CSA gets a little confused with the Civil War
Oh,
on cross marketing. So we call it the Produce Box program because that's a little bit more understandable and doesn't get as confusing in our marketing and in our area. So yeah, every Wednesday and Friday, if you sign up that week, you get a box of produce for $20.
and how would they sign up? Do they go to your Facebook? Do they have to come to the general store?
Yeah, all sign up is on our website, so it's pretty easy. One click, you can pay online, you can call in payment, or you can show up with payment. We're also one of the few CSAs in Virginia that also accepts food stamps and EBT for your produce box. And the state of Virginia also matches 50% of your CSA purchase, so it only counts for $10 instead of $20 if you're on food stamps or EBT.
Wow, that probably took a whole lot of figuring out and red tape to get through.
Yeah, that could be its own radio
I was
show.
going to say that might be a whole nother show in and of itself.
Yeah,
What is your web address again?
it's johnhenrygeneralstore.com.
And it's JON.
Yeah, I guess I forgot to warn everyone if you're looking for us, that causes a lot of problems. And speaking of red tape, we had a lot of red tape problems when we first opened the store of government people being confused about our business license. But yeah, there is no H in John.
And Carrie, this all kind of ties together well because you were telling us before we started recording about a new blog post that's up about education throughout the
Yeah.
county and agriculture and history. And you kind of checked all of those boxes today.
Well, we tried. Yeah, we even touched on a little history, didn't we? So there's a new blog on our website, and you can go to visit shenandoahcounty.com and look at our travel blog tab. And there is a new blog that's just called something like 10 ideas for educational field trips in Shenandoah County, and everything from visiting the caverns to agricultural experiences to history and even stargazing. So, you know, anybody who is looking for something to do to get their kids outside and get their kids learning something and hands-on and having real experiences as opposed to sitting in front of a screen all day. Shenandoah County has a lot of different options for kids. It's not just Civil War, it's not just agriculture, but we have a lot of ways to get kids out and get them learning. So there's that. And there's another thing that I wanted to point out is that we have a brand new events calendar on our website. So if you go to visit shenandoahcounty.com and click on the events tab, our events are colorful and bright, and you can click on an event and see a picture. And it used to be just words on a calendar, and now it's like a really, really awesome events calendar that's a little bit more interactive, and people can really see what's going on in Shenandoah County. We have a lot of really great things happening soon.
Cool. And so Cheyenne, Carrie brings up a good point. Do you guys offer tours to parents or kids or teachers of the working farm so kids get a bird's eye view of sorts, how things go there?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. In the past, we have offered field trips to county schools. Valley Baptist in Edinburgh has brought field trips down in the last couple of years that we've had the pumpkin patch. And that's been a really great opportunity for us to continue, you know, that consumer education I was talking about earlier, especially on the younger level. Unfortunately, because of COVID, public schools and even some private schools can't do field trips. But we have pivoted for that, and we actually created 2 separate scavenger hunts for elementary age kids when they come to the patch. So we have a pre-K to a first grade scavenger hunt that's all about opposites in the pumpkin patch. So an orange pumpkin, a green pumpkin, a white pumpkin, a tall pumpkin, a short pumpkin. So that has been a really big hit. And then we also have a 2nd to a 5th grade scavenger hunt that's about measuring. So they fill up their wagon of pumpkins, and they get a measuring tape and a scale to take along into the patch with them and measure their biggest pumpkin and their smallest pumpkin, get the height, the width, the weight, circumference, that kind of thing. So that is available to everybody. Parents can bring their kids, but we are offering actually this weekend, so Friday and Saturday, are our homeschool and virtual learning days on the farm. So if you come out this weekend, you'll get some special pricing for kids. It's typical pricing for our hay rides is $10 a person, and that comes with a pumpkin of choice. But this weekend, all students get a special pricing of $5 per student for the hayride and pumpkin of choice. So that is something we're really excited about and hope to get a lot of interest in, as well as the scavenger hunt will be offered throughout the season, just for parents to bring their kids out on the weekend. But we do hope everybody can come out this weekend for those special virtual learning days. And if anyone does have a homeschool group or a learning pod, we are scheduling field trips for them as well. Realizing that things may look different, but we want to get as many people out to the farm as we can. And we've even had some schools ask if we can bring the horses to them, which we are working out the details of as well. So there are lots of options for learning and education on the farm, and we're just really excited to be able to offer those.
That is way cool. And John Henry, you were joking earlier about the number of kites that you're selling at the general store. It's because parents are teaching their children about wind speed and weather. That's the education piece of the kites, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully they're not doing a redemonstration of what Benjamin Franklin and the key.
Well, on that note, we are going to wrap up our conversation today for Tourism Tuesday. We have been chatting with Carrie Hahn from Shenandoah County Tourism. On the Zoom screen with us has been John Henry with John Henry General Store in Newmarket, along with Cheyenne Rhodes from Sycamore Banks Farm. I will put links to websites, Facebooks, Instagrams, the new events calendar at visitshenandoahcounty.com. All of that will be up on the podcast page before the show is over. So as people are listening right now, they can go and get all of the information about everything that we've talked about today. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today. Nikki Kales is going to join me on the Zoom screen with Kevin Poplaski. He is the owner at Saga Meadery on South Street in Front Royal, and we have already recorded that show because Nikki is on vacation this week, and we are going to tell you about a really cool meet and greet that we are going to plan as a belated birthday hangout with me. So meet me back here tomorrow just a few minutes after noon. I will have that show ready to go for you.